Hear me. I am so grateful to be here today. It's just so funny how technology sometimes makes us crazy, isn't it? And how are you all doing today? What is new and exciting in your world? I went on F- Facebook last week and I said to everybody, because I like to go live on that platform as well, I said, this needs to be called like Wisdom Wednesday. Because as we know, if you are a very spiritually aware person, when we are thinking about the macrocosm, the bigger part of the world, we are experiencing things for our own growth in the microcosm because we are a part of it all and we are all connected. And that's a good thing because we can tap into what's going on the planet or what people, the collective, is feeling. And for me personally, and this is really interesting and it relates to my story today because every Wednesday I come live hopefully at 12:30 unless there is a technological snafu I call it, which sometimes happens as it did today. For some reason I could not get on this platform and go live. I don't know what happened, but that's okay because I'm here now. And every week on Wednesday at 12:30 Central Standard Time, I want to bring you something inspirational, motivational, something to help you with your life to make sure that you are on track to create the things in your life that you want to create because my channel is all about fear to confidence. And over the years, I have offered you many, many, many ways for you to tap into all the parts of you, all the facets of you that you maybe are struggling with, or you want to grow in, or you want to change, or you want to let go of, or you want to create. And that's my work in the world. That's what I'm here to do and how I'm here to serve you. And this platform is great for me to come on every week and remind you of what you're capable of. And even when sometimes things get scary, and sometimes, as my story goes today, we have to be patient. We have to wait for the right time for when we feel comfortable to move forward if we are in a place of fear. And this story is, of course, about how I was with my nephew. We went to a birthday party, and there's this guy in my area called Steve the Reptile Man. Steve the Reptile Man comes to birthday parties or he comes to events and he brings his reptiles. He brings stuff like snakes and spiders and alligators and scorpions and other animals so that everybody can get a chance to be around these types of things. And sometimes as children, a lot of times where I am having a great day, I hope you are too having a great day. Sometimes when we are around, reptiles or things that we think can harm us, we get nervous. And I definitely knew that this guy had a tarantula because my children had gone to this birthday party many years ago. And this was like 6 years ago. I think I was at this birthday party with Steve the Reptile Man. But I knew he had a spider, a tarantula in his repertoire of things that he was going to bring out for us to hold. I knew it. And my nephew was with me. And if this was 6 years ago, he was 10. And when he brought out each animal, my nephew said, like, Aunt Melissa, will you hold that if I hold it, or will you hold it and then I'll hold it? And I thought to myself, yeah, I'm not really super afraid of a lot of this stuff, but I didn't know when he was going to bring out the tarantula because that is something that I really was thinking I would love to hold it, but I'm very nervous and I'm very afraid. And have you ever been in a situation like that where you were presented with something? And this is what I ask you every week. This is because I mentor people and I do Akashic record readings and I've been doing them for many, many years. And usually in my Akashic record readings, people come and they want to know about their past lives or they want to know where they're headed in life and what their mission is or they want to connect with somebody who's passed away and they want to connect with that person because they have some work to do maybe around that or they want to connect with them because they're in grief. I've had many, many people come to me because they've lost somebody in their life and they want to connect with them. But back to my story. I'm in this situation, and have you been in a situation like this before? But I'm in this situation and I'm really nervous and I'm starting to sweat And my heart is starting to race a little bit because I know that in this stuff that he's got, after the alligator we held, after the boa constrictor I put around my neck, after the scorpion crawled up my arm, and it's really, scorpions are really interesting because they have these little hooks and it feels like, they're hooking your arm. It's very strange. If you've ever held a scorpion, and I actually couldn't believe I did that. I was like, yeah, 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 I'll hold the scorpion. I was nervous, but I feel like what this was doing for me personally was getting me prepared to hold the tarantula. So finally, he's like, I'm going to bring out this tarantula. And if somebody wants to hold it, he said, children are not allowed to hold the tarantula anymore because a lot of children, what would happen would they would get the tarantula, see it in their hands, and they do this and they would kill the tarantula. And so he had many tarantulas die and he would not allow children to hold them anymore because of their fear. And so he only would allow adults to hold it. And so he literally comes over. Right. He didn't ask, does anybody want to hold it? He was just like, I'm going to go find somebody and give it to them. And there's a woman standing right next to me. And I'm thinking, he's going to give me this tarantula. Oh my gosh. And you all, I am sweating. My heart rate is going like this. I'm in so much anxiety because I'm so nervous. And have you ever been in a situation like that? Have you ever been sweating, nervous? Maybe your voice is stammering. You are thinking to yourself, oh my gosh, you're like in freak out mode, is what I would call it. And so he gives it to this woman right next to me. And I'm standing there watching her hold this tarantula. And I'm thinking, I just can't do it. If he passes it to me, I'm going to say no. I'm so afraid. Maybe if I had gloves on, maybe I could do it, but so he gives it to her, she holds it, and it doesn't move or anything. It's just sitting in her hand. And it's not a giant tarantula, it's a small one. I don't know what kind it was, but I did not want to hold it. And when he took it from her, and I think he did ask at that point, does anybody else want to hold it? And I'm standing there sweating profusely and like shaking. And I'm just like, no, no, you cannot say yes. Well, after he left, I followed him to his car, you all. I was so wanting to hold this tarantula because I was just like, I need to get over this fear. And I had a subconscious mind coach for years, and I told him I had somewhat of a fear of spiders, not a big giant fear, but somewhat of a fear. And he said, what you need to do is go when you're at the park every day. He said, go pick up a daddy long legs. And I said, oh, okay, well, I think I can do that. And so I practiced doing that. But daddy long legs are very small. But did you know daddy long legs actually, they're one of the most venomous spiders in the world, but they don't have fangs. Now, that's what I've been told. I don't know if it's actually true, but I believed it. And I think even my daughter told me that. And so I chased this guy out to his car and I said, hey, 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 Steve, I really want to hold the tarantula. And he goes, let me go get it. And I said, no, 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 I don't want to hold it yet. But where are you going next? Because I want to follow you and I want to see if I can get warmed up to the idea to do this. And he was like, well, I'll be at such and such place for the public at such and such time. Well, I'll be honest with you, I never made it there. And I didn't make it there. And so, still within me, there is a bit of a fear, a bit of a nervousness about doing this. But I continue to think about it because did you know that anytime you get over any fear in your life, it will help to catapult you in your life? And so, then the next fear based thing that shows up, you're going to have more courage. But sometimes it's not the right time. Sometimes we have to wait and be patient. And that's the meaning of my message today. And for all the clients I've mentored and done readings for over the years, one of the things that I did as a priestess, as a person who's walked through much of my own fear, of course, in my life, is that I would hold space for them. And I would make sure that they knew that they were supported and that even when they were going through this fear based thing, I was holding their hand, even not physically, but mentally, spiritually, I was holding their hand. And sometimes we need that. Sometimes we need somebody to push us, gently nudge us. And then we also need them to say and celebrate with us when we're finished, when we've walked through that fear. Because It's a big deal. It's a big deal. It would be a big deal for somebody who's really, I'm really warm. It would be a big deal for somebody who's afraid of snakes to hold a snake, right? Wouldn't it be a big deal for somebody to hold a snake if they were terrified of snakes? And I'm not terrified of snakes, although I just was terrified a few weeks ago hold a black mamba and not hold the head of the black mamba, but hold the tail because I was thinking to myself, what if this snake gets away? What am I going to do then? Oh my gosh. And then I was in a house. I did a video about this a few months ago about living in a house for 5 days with a bunch of snakes that kept coming in the house. So we all have fear. We are not alone. And we want to make sure that we do the best we can, and it's a process to walk through that fear all the time. Walk through a fear, you get more confidence. And that's again what my channel is about. That's what I do. That's my work in the world, is helping people go and walk through their fear, even if it just means talking about it and saying, I really have this fear of such and such, which I am experiencing this week. I've realized that I have some fear around stability. And I know that's what the collective is feeling as well. And that's why I'm feeling it. And so there's this word that has been coming in for me, and I'm just sitting with it, you all. Sometimes you got to sit with it, and then you'll know what to do. And so I would love for you, as we move forward, to think about something that you want in your life to create, to recognize what the barriers might be. And then how are you going to start to shift that? What are you going to do? What are you going to change in your life? I'm going to give you one tool, one thing you can do today to make yourself step more into creating that dream, goal, desire, achieve what it is you want to achieve. And it's called self care. And it's called listening to, what do I need to do today? Working. Step into that space. What am I willing to do? What can I do today? And maybe you need to call a friend and you need to say, hey, I need you to hold space for me as I do this. And taking the next step in your life, in your business, in your relationships is a part of growth. And if we don't do it, what we end up doing is we build walls around ourselves. And that keeps us disconnected, and it keeps us lonely, and it keeps us in a space where we're not growing and we're not transforming. And that's why you're here. You're here to create. You're here to transform. You're here to learn about yourself, to know yourself, and then to radiate that to the rest of the world. And so I hope you enjoyed my story today. If you're interested, if you're a woman 40 plus and you're interested in going after your dreams and desires and getting the things in life that you want, then go to my website, www.reclaimrebuildrestore.com, and check out my Find Your Fire program. I created this program a couple of years ago, and it was my blood, sweat, and tears. And I was very nervous about doing it because I wanted to make sure I put everything into it, my heart and soul. And I did. And I did that. And I spent a lot of time creating this program for women 40 plus. You don't have to be 40 plus, and I crafted this program because I wanted women to know their value, that they are enough, because I went through some struggles in my own personal life when I was married. And this is what I gleaned, all the wisdom I gleaned the last 15, 16 years of working on me and discovering myself. And so I created this program, and it's just an evergreen program. You can take this program and do it at your own pace. And then on top of that, I've been telling people I offer Akashic record readings. So if you're somebody that wants to know where you're going in life, or you want to connect to someone that's passed away, I don't always get that person, but we could try. But I've been doing Akashic record readings for many years. So if you're interested in getting an Akashic record reading, just send me an email at melissa@reclaimrebuildrestore.com, and I'd be happy to get in touch with you and let you know the details. But that is a very important piece. I actually did an Akashic record reading a couple of weeks ago, and it was amazing. And I also have had several inquiries in the last couple of weeks. So I guess, and we're just passing through the Day of the Dead. And so if you all had felt connected to somebody that passed away, it's because the veil was very thin after Samhain, Halloween. So, yeah, I hope you all are having a super duper wonderful day. I've got to go. I am actually getting on a class right now for professional speakers, and I'm going to learn some new information and some new material, and I'm going to be doing some new things to push my edge. And so, thank you for joining me. I come on these videos every single Wednesday at 12:30 Central Standard Time. Come and listen to my story. I always have some kind of crazy story, and I want to share it with you so that you know that there are ways that you can grow and transform through pushing your edge, through going through fear and getting out to the other side where you're more confident, you feel more in love with yourself, you're more excited about who you are and what you're doing. And then, of course, that radiates out into the rest of the world. So thanks for joining me. I look forward to connecting with you again next Wednesday. And please remember to like, share, and subscribe. If you know somebody that's going through fear or needs somebody to listen to that is got some helpful wisdom, then have them come to my channel and find some videos, because I've been talking about this for years and I have many, many tools in my toolbox. And so there is no solution that is not possible for us. When we get in a rut or we feel discouraged or we feel like we're alone, this is all a lie that we tell ourselves. And so go check out some of my other videos, and thank you for your subscription. Thank you for your likes. And I look forward to seeing you next week.